This is Appalachian Television Omni-Media, improving America. 308. Local Wasteland time. If you're hearing this, the night hasn't taken you out yet. Maybe you're on watch. Maybe you've got a campfire that gives off more smoke than heat. Maybe you're lying awake, listening to the board shift and the dark settle into the corners. If that's the case, you're not the only one. This is Midnight in the Wasteland. I'm Nightwatch. Tonight's story is a small one. No siege, no massacre, no monster up on two legs dragging somebody into the brush. Just a house, a father, a boy, and one thing that should not have mattered as much as it did. That's usually how it happens. This one came to me in pieces. A trader who remembered the road. A woman who remembered that the boy wasn't much of a boy anymore. Somebody else said they'd known the father, or thought they had. The details shifted. The shape stayed put. There was a house out near the farmland, past the places people spoke of, like they were still part of anything. The porch leaned. The walls took wind through the seams. Whatever paint had once been on it had long since given up. That was where Rodger lived with his father. From what I had heard, they didn't have much. Enough to keep standing. Not enough to get ahead. That kind of life. And one morning, when Rodger was still young enough to ask for things without understanding their cost, he asked his father for a box of sugar bombs. Just that. Sugar bombs. A bright, old-world thing. A sweet thing. Something cheerful in a place where cheer didn't last long. I don't know whether he remembered them from before. I don't know whether he'd seen an old box somewhere and fixed upon it. Maybe someone had described them too well. Maybe he just wanted something from the world that wasn't gray, or canned, or hard. Doesn't matter, he asked. And his father, instead of laughing it off, or telling him no, and letting the day close over it, said he'd see what he could do. That was the mistake, or maybe the kindness. Sometimes they're the same thing. His father went out looking. Maybe he thought he'd check a roadside market, maybe an old gas station, maybe one of those ruined grocery stores people still pick through now and then, when they were desperate enough to still hope. He left to find a box of cereal for his son, and he never came back. That was the part that stayed. Not the request, the silence after it. No body, from what I had heard. No rifle found in the ditch. No bloody trail anyone could swear to. No witness worth trusting. Just gone. One trip. One errand too small to count as an errand. And then nothing. People can survive a death better than a disappearance sometimes. Death at least has the decency to stop. Disappearance keeps moving around in the mind. Maybe he's hurt. Maybe he got turned around. Maybe he found shelter. Maybe tomorrow. Maybe next week. Maybe if you wait long enough, the road gives him back. That kind of thought rots people slowly. Rodger was only a boy when it happened. Old enough to understand cause. Too young to understand proportion. That's a bad age for grief. Because a child doesn't hear, your father made a choice. A child hears, I asked. And if the asking came first, then somewhere in the private arithmetic of the heart, the rest of it belongs to him. That was what wrecked Rodger. Not hunger. Not poverty. Not even the loss itself. The order of things. He asked. His father went. His father vanished. And after that, from what people said, something in him never moved forward again. The house stayed standing a while longer. Rodger stayed in it. Then barely stayed in it. Then became one of those people the road seems to keep. Not because they belong there, but because they've got nowhere else left to attach themselves. People saw them in ruined stores, back aisles, stock rooms, broken roadside markets, with shelves sagging under the mildew and dust. Always looking. Not for food in general, for sugar bombs. That was the part people remembered because it was too specific not to remember. If he had been asking for canned meat, or clean water, or 308 rounds, he'd have been like anybody else. But he was asking for sugar bombs. Same quiet question. Same tired eyes. Same look about him people get when they've been arguing with one moment in their lives for too many years and are losing. Some laughed at first, but not for long, because eventually it becomes obvious when someone isn't being odd. They're being haunted, and there's a difference. I don't think Rodger was really looking for cereal. Not by then. He was looking for the point where things had gone wrong, or trying to. Like if he could find the box, hold it, see it with his own eyes, maybe he could understand what kind of thing was worth a father walking out for and never returning. Or maybe he was trying to punish himself. People do that. Circle the wound. Touch it. Name it. Carry it. Refuse to let it scar over because the pain feels more honest than peace. Years passed. Rodger got older. The kind of older that doesn't look like living so much as weathering. People around these roads got used to seeing him now and then. Coat worn thin. Boots bad. Face drawn down around the mouth. Still searching for old shelves, like one answer had been left behind by mistake, and he might yet be able to find it. The father became a story, then a rumor, then the kind of absence nobody bothers retelling cleanly because too much time has gone by, and the world has made other demands. But Rodger stayed tied to it. That was the real damage. Not that his father had disappeared. It was that Rodger had never left the day behind. I heard one version that said he finally found the box years later, in the back of some old ruined store. I heard another that said he never did. Truth is, it doesn't change much either way, because by then, the thing itself wasn't the thing. The box had already done its damage without ever being there. The bright red little want, that ordinary request, the harmless hunger for something sweet. It had become the shape of the loss, and Rodger, from what I'd heard, lived the rest of his life like a man standing in the echo of his own voice, still hearing himself ask for it. That's what stayed with me. Not that a father vanished in the wasteland. That happens. The wasteland is full of vanished people. It was the size of the cause. That something so small could take up so much room afterward. A box of cereal, a child's request, and a whole ruined life built around the idea that led one to the other. That was Rodger. And out here, I think that there are more people like him than anybody wants to admit. People can go on breathing, go on walking, and go on speaking when spoken to, but inwardly, never leave the one moment that split their life in two. This is Midnight in the Wasteland. I'm Nightwatch. I'll be here tomorrow night, if the wires still hold. Until then, keep breathing.